So many hours have passed already. Honestly, I was thinking about finishing this video tomorrow, but I decided, I can't even talk. I just decided to get it done. It's just, I am so tired today. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my powerlifting journey. And this is going to be like a different kind of video because I'm going to be talking about like my own personal journey, my personal experiences with it or so far, and just like strength training in general. This is not me saying that you should be powerlifting. This is not me saying like, oh, it's like powerlifting is so good for people with RA, even though like I am a big proponent of strength training in general, and powerlifting has helped me in multiple ways. I know that it's like a sport and it's not for everybody. Like if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. And yeah, so I just kind of wanted to clear that up before I begin. So I began a powerlifting program from Hybrid Performance in November of last year. So almost a year ago is when I began this journey, and I have not competed. So I'm not like saying that I'm a powerlifting like competitor or anything like that. I have just been doing a program and basically gearing my workouts toward powerlifting. And it has been going surprisingly well so far. I actually decided to do it because I was at a point where I just felt like I needed to work towards something. I had done bodybuilding in the past, but it's just, that was something that just wasn't in my heart as much as it used to be. I liked the idea of working hard and, working towards those kind of goals. And obviously the physique that you get from bodybuilding is a huge plus as well. But just the thought of the end result of like getting on the stage and, actually doing a show, it just didn't seem appealing to me anymore. So I decided I wanted to try something a little bit different, and instead of focusing on how my body looks as much, or like instead of focusing more on what my body can look like, I wanted to focus more on what my body could do. And this was something that was really scary for me because the last time I had tried lifting heavier, it did not go very well. My joints would hurt so bad, and I just would be in a flare up after, so many days of lifting heavy. So it was something that I knew, this is either going to be kind of a hit or miss. Like, I don't want to be disappointed if I'm not able to do this, but I still wanted to give it a try. So I just kind of, went into it with that kind of mindset. I'm just going to take it day by day, just see how it goes, follow the program, listen to my body at the same time, because obviously when you're following the kind of program that I'm following is definitely not customized or individualized by any means. So I do that for myself if I need to. So I kind of just have to work with what I know and what my body needs at the time. Obviously, if that means taking a little bit more rest, I do that. If that means modifying some exercises, I do that. So basically, to get back on track, I'm just kind of rambling. I decided to do it because I wanted to know what my body was capable of. That was something that I had really never worked toward during my fitness journey, especially after I was diagnosed with RA, because before it was more about how I looked, but also what my body was capable of in terms of running. And now I wanted to see, if I could push it a different way. So it has been going extremely well so far. I do want to compete someday. I don't know exactly when I'm going to. It's really hard to find a competition apparently here in Iowa. With that being said, that's also part of the reason why I didn't even film my workout, because I live in like kind of a small city in Iowa. And I don't know, it just feels so awkward to film in the gym that I go to. So I just haven't gotten that far yet, but I will start doing that at some point. It's just very awkward to like do YouTube type videos in there. But with that being said, it has been going very well. I have been able to hit so many PRs. I have been able to like totally exceed my expectations of what my body is capable of. I really never thought I would get this far with it. And obviously, like, I'm not at the point where I'm going to place at a powerlifting competition, to be totally honest with you. I'm not at a place where I'm going to break records or, you know, anything to that extent. And I'm not going to say like I'll never get there, because there's always a chance, but I just like, that's not what I'm really focused on right now. I'm just kind of focused on one step at a time when it comes to that. But I do still want to compete. I want to see what it's like. I have talked to a lot of people on Instagram and in person who have done powerlifting and love it, and I'm just like really excited to try it and just see how I do. I think when it comes to having rheumatoid arthritis or any type of chronic illness, doing something that really surprises yourself is like so important and just so fulfilling, and it just brings like a wave of like a totally new type of energy, or at least that's how I feel every time I do lift heavier than I think I can, because it's like, oh my god, like I am so much stronger than I think I am. Just because I have RA does not mean that I can't do this. So having, you know, those thoughts are like, that's just amazing. And how I balance my rheumatoid arthritis with powerlifting, it can be a little bit tricky, and honestly I'm still kind of learning because with the program that I'm doing, each couple weeks, each week, there's like different blocks, so they're a little bit different. So when the training volume gets a little bit higher, like where I'm at right now, my body does get a little bit more tired, and I do feel a little bit more of the fatigue and the brain fog, if you can't already tell. And we just kind of have to work through that. Honestly, I'm not going to lie, I took an hour nap this afternoon, and I literally like planned my work day, which I'm very blessed to be able to do. But I planned my work day around taking a nap because I felt like that's what my body absolutely needed. And sometimes, I mean, that's just what you got to do. If you got to rest more, you have to rest more. Again, I'm not saying that you guys have to do powerlifting or that you should. Like, if you want to, great. If you don't want to, that's totally fine. You don't have to do this. But it's something that I want to do. So for me, it's worth it. But I also take deload weeks. So usually that's like 6 weeks, sometimes 8 weeks at a time, where I take a week either almost, well, okay, so when I take a deload week, it's supposed to be less training and more focus on like muscle activation and recovery and just movement to prime the muscles, not really to like push yourself as much, because you want to, like, the point of a deload week is to recover and to get rid of like all the accumulated fatigue that comes with, you know, higher volume training. So with my deload weeks, I'm not going to lie, there were some weeks in this journey where I took completely off, and that is fine. Like, for me, it was good for my body to have a week off once every like 6 to 8 weeks, because that's just, I guess that's what my body needs, and that's how I recover. Obviously, I want to keep moving and like walk and everything, but sometimes it's okay to like take those breaks if you really need it, and that is just part of your fitness journey. That doesn't mean that it's like a setback. It doesn't mean that it's going to keep you from making progress or that you should give up. It is literally just another step to your goal, if that makes sense. But basically, I've been doing pretty well at balancing the RA. I have not had too much joint pain. My knees have been a little bit sore lately, but it usually goes away within a day or so. And it also depends on the day as well. So obviously other factors can fall into that. And mostly I think I've had problems with not even just my knees, really. It's just kind of been more so like my wrists and my fingers because of like the gripping that I'm not used to. And yeah, so, and like my wrists are very tiny. So it's like I have to be very careful, but I am wearing wrist straps and wrist wraps, I should say. And I've been using wrist straps at some points to help with that. But overall, things are looking pretty good. I haven't had a major problem so far, so knocking on wood there. So going into the effects that I've had from doing powerlifting. I will start with the positive effects first because I feel like there are more of those, and to me it outweighs the negative effects that I've had. First of all, my movement has gotten so much better. Like my range of motion and my knees have gotten so much better. I'm able to lift more just like in my daily life, which is really nice. So like, for example, we went on a trip, we went on a few trips in the summer, but like being able to carry like my backpack and the suitcase and everything, it was like no issue at all. When we traveled, I think it was a year before that, it was like really heavy and I was just struggling. And so like things like that, like little things where I just felt like things just got a lot easier to do, you know? And that's just like a benefit of strength training in general, which is really, really nice. And just being able to strengthen my grip as well. So like obviously when I'm carrying the suitcase, like I'm not, in pain, and I'm not, too weak to be able to do it or anything like that. I've also found that there's a lot more mental strength that goes into powerlifting than physical strength. A lot of times we don't even realize it, but during workouts we can get into our own heads and question ourselves and think, even just like if it's not consciously, it can be subconsciously, where we kind of like question if we'll be able to lift that heavy, or we question if we'll be able to finish the workout, or be able to do that many sets or that many reps. And for me, obviously with powerlifting, it's like, am I able to lift this amount of weight for this amount of reps? And I've had to really dig deep and figure out, like, thankfully I'm doing a mindset program at the same time as this, so that kind of like is a blessing to be able to do these things together, because they really help each other out, plus like business and everything like that. But when it comes to powerlifting, I find that I do struggle mentally at the point where like during squats, when I get to the bottom of the squat, that's when it kicks in and I'm like, am I gonna be able to get up? Like, oh my God, I'm so scared. What if I can't get up? You just have to like do it and just not even think about it. Like, okay, I'm not an expert on powerlifting, obviously. I'm just telling you my own experience, but that's part of my experience so far, is just being able to get out of my head and just have an inner belief within me that I am able to do those things. So that is something that I have really benefited from, is having like that inner strength, that mental strength. I think just being able to do this with rheumatoid arthritis is a mental like power. Like it makes me feel mentally strong. So going into like the negative effects I've had from powerlifting, so far I haven't had many. The only thing is like during those high volume training weeks, I do tend to get more tired. The fatigue is a little bit more, sometimes the joints are a little bit more painful depending on, other things, like if I did something wrong. Sometimes it depends on like other factors, like am I on my period, like because those hormones can definitely make a difference. Am I getting sick? Just, those types of things. I've also had where the last 2 times that I've lifted like my 1 rep max, I got sick afterwards. And I do believe it's like an immune response, but I'm not for sure. I'm just trying to figure that out because we'll see. If it happens again, then I'll know that it probably is an immune response. Like it just kind of brings my immune system down because I'm lifting so heavy, and maybe it's just too much for my immune system or my body, and that's just like how my immune system reacts. So that is something that could be a negative effect. If that is so, then I'll just have to like really prepare and take lots of vitamins. And yeah, another thing is that my body has gotten very tight since doing powerlifting, and like, oh my God, I need to get a massage like monthly. I started going to a chiropractor. Those things I didn't even do hardly at all. Like I maybe got a massage once a year, if that, before I started doing this. So it takes a lot more effort into the recovery process of it, for sure, because obviously you don't want to hurt yourself, you don't want to injure yourself, and you want to make sure you can keep lifting heavier and keep performing well. And obviously you don't want to like cause any more joint pain than we already have to deal with, or any more inflammatory issues. So foam rolling is my best friend, stretching, massages, chiropractor, all that stuff. So maybe it is kind of a positive effect in like disguise, like a blessing in disguise, because those things are good, and I wouldn't be doing them if I wasn't doing powerlifting. So there's that. Also, I'm just going to name some of the supplements that I am taking right now that help me in my workouts and just like feel good in general. So I do take, the first thing is glutamine, and I find that really does make a difference in my recovery and how I feel, especially after my workouts. And I take lysine, which is another amino acid, and I actually have been taking that for a long time, like since I started methotrexate, because I used to get like mouth ulcers or canker sores because of the methotrexate, so that is used to combat that. And then I also take whey protein after my workouts every day. I don't work out every single day, but what I mean, like after my workouts, I take the whey protein. And honestly, like whey works really well for me. I'd have no problems with it at all, but I know some people do. So if that's you, you definitely shouldn't take whey protein. Like find something that works for your body. I also take amino energy, EAAs, and that's before my workouts, to like drink before and during. So that way I am caffeinated and I have those amino acids to help me with my performance and recovery. And then I also have been drinking Gatorade during my workouts and afterwards, just to get in a little bit more electrolytes. That's pretty much it, besides like the turmeric, which I've talked about before, and then my greens powder, which I have been taking for a long time now, and I only take that for the probiotics. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Anyways, I hope you like this talk. Thank you so much for listening. Let me know down below what kind of videos you want to see. If you want to see like more of this content where I'm talking about like my personal experiences, my personal journey, or if you want to see like more educational kind of content, and if so, let me know what you want to know about. And please like and subscribe if you want to see more, and share this video with your fellow spoonies, your fellow chronic illness warriors, your fellow RA warriors, because I want to be able to reach as many people as possible. So thank you so much for your support. Also, I don't say that enough, but thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye.